Hi there, everyone, and welcome to this Wednesday, March 4th, 2009. As everyone who really cares about it knows, Watchmen comes out in theaters this Friday, March 6th. And leading up to that, there's this whole bevy of Watchmen multimedia things that are coming out this week, starting Tuesday with the Watchmen complete motion comic coming out on DVD. And then Wednesday, today, we have Watchmen The End Is Nigh, which for those of you who hadn't heard of it, is a downloadable game coming out over Xbox Live, PlayStation Network, and Steam. So you can go there to download that. It's $20. And then tomorrow, of course, is the movie in both conventional and IMAX theaters, which I will be seeing at the midnight show, and then again later Friday in IMAX. But today I want to talk about Watchmen, the complete motion comic, which I have right here. For those of you who have been following it, it's been coming out episodically on iTunes for the past few months now. And it's 12 episodes, one for each issue of the graphic novel. And what it is, if you're not familiar with the concept of a motion comic, it's panel for panel, page for page, the entire story of Watchmen. Animated, given slight motion. All the text bubbles and speech bubbles still appear on screen, and it's narrated by Tom Stetschult, who is apparently a prolific books on tape guy. Yeah, does a lot of those. So he does all the voices for all the characters and the narration and everything. And it's pretty well done. He's better at some characters than he is at others, but that's to be expected. It's got its pros and cons. It's as far as pros, the biggest ways that I can recommend this is I've talked to a lot of people who are really interested in a lot of the comic movies that have been coming out, but can't seem to get into reading comics. One of my old roommates mentioned to me that he would have, when 300 came out, he would have loved to have read the original story, but he just can't read a comic book. He just isn't a fan of the format and doesn't like doing it. So something like Watchmen, the motion comic, gives you a way around that. If you've always wanted to get into the story of Watchmen, but just can't sit down and read the whole graphic novel, because it's pretty beefy. It's pretty thick. If you can't sit down and read that, Watchmen, the complete motion comic, gives you a great alternative to that, because it is the entire graphic novel. Nothing is left out, save for a speech bubble here or there, which I don't know why they left, because, like I said, they don't cut any scenes. But if you're really familiar with the graphic novel, you'll notice watching it that there's a speech bubble here or there missing for whatever reason. But it gives you the complete Watchmen story in its entirety, which we aren't going to get in the movie that comes out this Friday, obviously, because the movie is, last time I checked, the running time was coming in somewhere around 2.5 hours, with the director's cut being upwards of 3 when that finally comes out. But so it gives you this way to look at Watchmen in its complete, unabridged form, which, by the way, in case you're wondering, is 325 minutes long. That's the running time of this guy. So it's over 5 hours. It's a chore to sit down and watch, to be sure. But if you break it up, it's 2 discs. First 6 issues on one disc, second 6 issues on the next disc. If you break it up and watch them separately, then it's just sitting down and watching 2 fairly long movies, to be fair. But if you're a fan of the comic, it's a cool thing to pick up. I really enjoyed it. It's cool to see everything moving and hear character voices. If you're not a fan of the comic, if you've read Watchmen and you didn't like it, avoid this, because that's all it is. It's the same thing rehashed. I doubt there's going to be anybody who really didn't like Watchmen picks up the motion comic and decides, wow, I was wrong, this is the greatest thing ever. So for fans of Watchmen and newcomers, great idea. Like I said, it's a great way to be able to get into it if you don't like sitting down and reading comic books. It's a great thing for Watchmen fans to kind of see one of their favorite books in a different way. But it's not anything that's going to convert anybody who didn't already like the story, because it is, like I said, the complete same story that we've already seen. And I think that'll just about do it for that. Tomorrow I will get on to talk about The End Is Nigh, the downloadable game that I mentioned earlier. because it's from what I hear, the running time comes in around 2 hours. But I'll be able to give you guys some confirmation on that tomorrow. And then Friday, I will give you my thoughts on the film. So you guys have a great week, and I will see you tomorrow.